Welcome everybody to the latest interview in our series of video interviews for DECT Today. And today we're talking about Nordic Semiconductor. Many of you will be aware that Nordic has become a full member of the DECT Forum and has stated that it's got a strong interest in DECT NR+, the world's first non-cellular 5G wireless standard. Today I'm talking to Kristian Saether. And Kristian, for those of our members who don't know a lot about Nordic, can you perhaps tell us a bit about your company?
Yes, thank you, Vince. Yeah, Nordic is a fabulous semiconductor company headquartered in Norway, but with R&D and sales offices globally. We have been around for 40 years this year, actually, so it's been a long background. And then we are mostly famous about being one of the inventors of Bluetooth Low Energy, where we started with standard radio protocols a good few years back. We're focusing on low power wireless with high integration and open software development kits, so we can create highly integrated solutions for our customer. And we have a range of products covering Bluetooth Low Energy with Thread and Matter support. We also have Wi-Fi 6 now. We have cellular IoT supporting LTM and narrowband IoT. And as you said, we are now starting up also with the DECT NR+ as the fourth big wireless standard we want to prioritize and work and make products on.
Well, that's fantastic. It's really exciting to have an innovative semiconductor company like Nordic working with us now. So what role do you fulfill within Nordic?
So I'm a product director in Nordic, so I have the overall product responsibility for what we do within the cellular product and also now DECT NR+, meaning I foresee all our product plans, roadmap strategy, go-to-market business, work close with partners and all our big customers on everything related to those cellular and DECT NR+ product technologies.
Understood. Okay, then how did Nordic first become interested in cooperation with the DECT Forum and basically the whole of the DECT industry?
Yeah, so our primary interest started, I think, with opening up the idea to build a wireless standard evolving from the DECT, where you can utilize this global license accept 1.9 GHz band to create a wireless standard that could also be utilized for IoT, where we are an IoT company. So we saw that opportunity very early. If you look at how often do you get access to a global band that can be used for IoT, not every year that happens. So we grabbed that opportunity. And the other thing which is important for Nordic is that we want to build and have solutions that are based on open standards. We believe that open standards with fair competition, with access to solutions from multiple companies, with a big ecosystem around it is really what's going to make and break in this market in the long term. So we also saw that opportunity that we could define this in 𝗙𝗃 to become an open standard and an open ecosystem, which was kind of those two big things, I think. And of course, on top of that, we can say that we had existing radio technology and capabilities in companies, so we could actually productize this in a way also early if you wanted to.
Okay, so what is it about DECT NR+ specifically, and what gap does it fill in Nordic's product portfolio?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, we have a big portfolio in Bluetooth Low Energy. We are by far the world's biggest supplier for Bluetooth Low Energy in IoT devices. But it remains a very, should we say, consumer-oriented type of technology due to its capabilities. We then are in cellular IoT, which is a very strong technology for people that want to rely on cellular, global, robust, mature networks for building devices that can connect anywhere. But we continue to see a big gap in industrial and enterprise, especially where, as of today, IoT it's been a buzzword for, I think, 2 decades, but it hasn't really happened. Today, you use wired, you don't use sensors at all. There's a lot of factories out there that have maybe 1/10 of the sensors they should have because it's hard to wire them in.
Yeah.
You've been lacking open, robust wireless standards that can do it. 2.4 GHz doesn't work very well. Sub-gigahertz have long latency, low bandwidth. There's no global open standards around it. So we saw all these things coming together with DECT NR+ with its capabilities to become a wireless solution that can be built and for private networking and wireless networking that are very reliable and robust, especially in enterprise and industrial IoT.
Well, what markets do you think NR Plus can address, and just how big do you see the future potential?
Yeah, we primarily see markets that today are using limited or some type of wireless that are looking for more capabilities. I would initially point out utility metering, which today wish to standardize on wireless. They have using a ton of wired and wireless standards today and are looking for standardized solution. They're looking for higher bandwidth and higher robustness for their network. So we see that their DECT NR Plus can fill a role very clearly. Another market or application area we're looking at initially is what we kind of call smart city, where you want to deploy wireless network in fairly big areas where you don't, and you want to have access to, I would say, high bandwidth, or relatively high bandwidth in your network with devices. It could be smart street lighting, it could be developing smart street lighting and having that as an infrastructure for other smart things that you want to connect around the city, because you can build sensors with hundreds of meters of range, and you can build network that have a high density of nodes. And that's where we see that there's no other wireless technology that can do that in an easy way today. Looking a bit further, and I think that going into factories, into automation, is going to be maybe the next things we start to look into to understand, where they need low latency, they need super high reliability. So can we replace expensive and cumbersome wiring in those environments? It's going to be an interesting thing to also start looking into.
Okay, then what needs to happen with DECT NR Plus for all of this potential to be fulfilled?
Yeah, I think first of all, we need to get products out in the markets that are available for customers. We need to get more mature solutions so people can test and see how it works. We have to see that there is becoming an ecosystem around this with several companies that can deliver hardware and software and stacks. I think I don't believe there's going to be a market with only Nordic, for example. We need to see other semiconductor companies that create solution. As I said, I think you're a strong believer in an open market with fair competition to give customer access to multiple solutions with multiple assets, what they can do. So I think that is very important, to build that ecosystem of solutions very quickly, so people can have a selection of things to test and use and understand the capabilities of the technology. On the regulatory side and on the certification side, I think we still have quite some time to go. There's a lot of work there to understand and set up the regulatory things around this, so people have a way to certify it. DECT as a existing today is approved regulatory in all major markets in the world, but this is a new physical radio which are very different. So there is still part of the world where that need to happen. But I think things are already now progressing very well in Europe and US. We see good progress in Japan and India and other major markets. So I think that will come as we start to see more opportunities and more fuss around the potential markets for NR Plus.
Do you think there's any competition to DECT NR Plus? And if there is, what is it, and just how much of a threat is it?
Yeah, so in terms of radio technologies, I think there's a lot of possible radio technologies that can be do different places. I think sub-gigahertz is still a strong technology, especially where you need long range and deep penetration, which can be an alternative to DECT NR Plus. I think DECT and cellular can fulfill similar roles. Private 5G cellular networking is going to be a competitive technology where maybe you get access to infrastructure or private 5G, but you can still build private network where you on DECT NR Plus to some extent need to build and maintain your own private network. So I think there are multiple radio technologies that can have similar capabilities for some use cases.
And you identified the need for other semiconductor companies to come into the market. Is your feeling that this is going to happen?
Yes, I think we already have one other company that have been becoming public and say they're going to build a DECT NR Plus solution. We hear rumors, so I think I'm confident that it will happen. I'm confident that there are other companies seeing already the potential with this radio technology to build good solutions. So yeah.
Well, it feels like it's quite soon to me, but the first product based on DECT NR Plus has already been announced by 𝗙𝗘𝗖𝗧. using Nordic's NRF chip. Is this the first of many, and is this the start of something really big?
Yeah, we saw those guys being very, very quick to spin out a board after we announced and start sampling the new 9161, which is the first product we plan for mass market availability later this year with DECT NL+. Yeah, we are already working with a range of customers and opportunities for different use cases, I think, in different markets. So I think we will see already over the course of this year some of these products becoming, not generally available at this point. That still will take time, I think, to mature software and stacks and all that, but becoming available for people to test and to see what is the potential use cases for DECT NL+.
Well, we've been looking kind of outbound, but let's look inbound for a little moment. Does the DECT Forum need to evolve or adapt to manage the rollout of the NL+ standard?
The way I look at DECT Forum today, I think it's been extremely successful in audio and professional audio, but the forum need to evolve further into IoT, especially for industrial and enterprise IoT, to have more focus there. I think that's the primary thing that the forum need to do to establish the DECT Forum as a relevant forum in that market where they have really not been present up to now.
Okay, well, it feels like this could potentially be the tipping point for a lot of IoT development that hasn't happened so far. And from my own point of view, it's really fantastic to have Nordic Semiconductor on board with the skills and the expertise that you have. So thanks for your time today, Kristian, and let's forward to talking many times again in the future. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Vince. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.